Alright, this is John Colo with OKRaw.com. Today we're coming at you from my beautiful backyard garden. This is part of my winter garden. Broccoli, cauliflower, different kinds of kales, spinach. Anyways, today I want to talk about raw food. And this is going to be a rant style video. And this is just sharing my personal opinions on some of the things going on out there. I've seen recently, several videos like no longer raw vegan videos, alright? So I want to, my way to address these is not necessarily specifically address people, but just address overall concepts and like my opinions on why people make no longer raw vegan videos, okay? One of the reasons, and there are many, is that my personal opinion is that there are some influencers out there that oversell the raw vegan diet. And I want to clarify raw vegan diet. We should technically call it a raw plant-based diet, because a lot of people that are raw are not vegan, because we're going to throw up the definition of vegan right here. And vegan is basically a philosophy, a way of living of minimizing the harm and abuse of animals as much as practicable and possible. Okay, and so most raw vegans that I see are no longer raw vegan. They should say no longer raw plant-based diet eaters. Okay, nonetheless, why does this happen? So my personal opinion is that there are some people out there, including me back in the olden days when I thought the raw food diet was the panacea. I have many friends that will speak out about that the raw food diet is not a panacea and not is going to heal all your ails, right? It may help heal many situations, right, as proven by science, as proven by testimonials we get from people, but also we have to realize there is a lot of nuance in the world. We are all unique, different individuals, and we all may require a little bit different raw food diet with it tweaked in different ways. But what I mean is it being oversold is that when there are absolute statements like raw foods heal all disease, right? And then people see that, I'm gonna go raw so I can heal all my diseases, and then it doesn't, then they're like, oh, raw vegan doesn't work, that guy lied. So then they just bail and they go the other direction because they throw the baby out with the bathwater, and that if raw vegan diet didn't work for me 100% completely like I was told it was, then it's bad, now I'm just gonna go to something else, right? Some influencers may say raw vegans have psychic powers. And okay, you go raw vegan and then now you don't have psychic powers, you can't read minds, you don't know, what number to put your money on when you play roulette in Las Vegas and you lose, and now you don't have psychic powers. Now, oh, raw food's a sham, I'm not gonna do it. There's other influencers out there that say raw vegan prevents all sickness and disease, right? Meaning that a normal person would hear that and think, if I eat raw vegan, then I'm gonna be in perfect health for the entire rest of my life without having to do anything. And when that doesn't happen, you're let down, and then guess what? You backlash. That was wrong, that's BS, I'm gonna do something else. And you just totally leave all the stuff you've learned behind, which I think is actually quite sad. Another thing that's out there in the raw vegan sphere is that, some influencers will say, fruit is the only human food, and basically I'm paraphrasing, any other food you eat will lead to negative consequences. This basically sets in people's mind that fruit is the ultimate food on the entire planet, and if you eat anything else, you're gonna be negative, including leafy greens, which I definitely wouldn't say is a negative personally. I mean, there could be negatives to leafy greens for certain people, but here's the thing, it's this like one-sided thinking or getting like implanting like messages in your brains that give you like an unrealistic expectation of what a raw vegan diet can do. My channel is evidence-based. I cover a lot of the published studies on the real proven health benefits of raw. I've also had testimonials on my channel about people that have healed from raw. Also, more importantly, people that have not healed from raw and gotten sick. Not necessarily because of the diet, maybe from other factors. But I just want to give you guys the truth, because that's the most important thing to me. And while I still believe that eating the majority of your diet in whole plant foods that are raw and minimally processed will still lead you to the best health. That being said, I'm no longer one of those people that say, you gotta be 100% or you're not gonna get any benefits. That is BS. They're selling you a line of BS, in my personal opinion, and you should be very wary of it. Of course, another popular influencer out there will say, look 20 years younger in 40 days. And I think probably in that 40 days, they want you to do a juice fast. And, you know, I'll bet money that most people are not going to look 20 years younger on a 40-day juice fast. Like 20 years. Come on, guys. 20 years. That's a lot of years. I mean, maybe if they said a year or two, you know, I could believe that. But 20 years younger, then they basically set people up with their inaccurate messaging and false beliefs and false hopes to basically fail and then talk crap about raw vegan diet, right? That it didn't work. And so it just irks me that people are out there to do that, because this really makes the whole movement look bad. You know, there's not many people that stand up against these kinds of things in the movement. A lot of people just let it happen. I share my opinions with you guys on these topics online, and maybe that puts me as an outcast for some people. Maybe some people will like me more. I really don't care. I'm just sharing my personal opinions, and more importantly, what I've observed. This is my 30th year living on what I call a raw vegan diet, which I define as 75% or more of my diet in whole, raw, minimally processed, unheated plant foods, although I still heat process some foods that I believe to be beneficial, right? And here's the thing, guys. I could have made a video no longer raw vegan. I mean, I did make a video no longer 100% raw vegan, because I don't want the absolutist message necessarily on my channel. That being said, I do know people that live on a all raw diet that are healthy. But the thing is this, diet is so nuanced. If you just say 100% raw vegan, that doesn't say what specific foods you're eating. Does that mean you're growing all your own food and you only eat out of your garden? Does that mean you're only eating conventional food out of the store? Are you eating nuts and seeds? Are you avoiding them? Are you just eating only fruit with no vegetables? Are you eating a really balanced raw vegan diet with fruits and vegetables, sprouted grains and beans and nuts and seeds and seaweeds to get your trace minerals, and, you know, balancing your omega-3 and 6s and making sure you're a converter and converting omega-3s to the DHA and EPA so you don't have, you know, problems with your brain later on in your life? This is the nuanced thing, and most YouTube channels just want to make, oh, just eat raw vegan, you'll be fine. It's a lot more complex than that. So when people are oversold and believe some of the statements they read online, it leads to unrealistic expectations, which leads to those unrealistic expectations not being met, which then leads to saying that it's all bad, it's all wrong, and then reverting to your previous diet, or just reverting to another fad diet out there, because that's going to give you the benefits you are looking for, right? And unfortunately, this is how social media is set up. It's like a popularity contest, just kind of like high school. I think everything is like high school. And, you know, you have more viewers and people listen to you because you're popular, even if you don't have the most accurate information, and then it leads a lot of people down a one-way path to doom, which is quite sad in my opinion. So, you know, here's the thing, guys. While a raw vegan diet is quite healthy and can be done successfully, that being said, the thing is about it is that it needs to be appropriately planned, and you always need to be able to be flexible about it and not be so rigid in your approach. I mean, I see on my channel, I get a lot of people that are rigid in their approach and they don't want to adopt my wisdom from 30 years living on a raw vegan diet, which is fine. People are, I mean, if I heard some guy like me talking about this when I'm talking about now, 10 years ago, I'd be like, oh, that guy's full of BS myself, because I was really seeped in to the dogma. But here's the thing I'll tell you guys, when you guys are younger, right, if you guys are young and doing an all raw vegan diet, even if you're like not doing it properly, our bodies are quite resilient. Think about it. People your age are just going out and eating McDonald's and they're still running races, they're still running around, they have lots of energy. But the challenge is, as you get more mature in your years, you will see the repercussions of your diet that is not dialed in, I will say, right? And so over time, your diet needs to change. Also, too, there's no one-size diet fits everybody. Like, eat this diet because every human should eat the same. We all have different genetics. We have different microbiomes. And our bodies may need different levels of different nutrients, especially phytonutrients, vitamins, and minerals, depending on your stress levels, your activity levels, your sleep, and all these other factors. So, you know, there are a lot of nuances, and I would encourage people out there watching this to, you know, not get so rigid and locked in to a raw vegan diet, like, you know, 100%, right? And, you know, matter of fact, I've covered this topic before. I really don't like labels because it kind of tends to lock you in a certain box. And I personally want you guys to unbox yourself and try to not live with labels. I mean, I still live with a raw vegan label, but my definition, of course, is 75% or more of my diet is raw fruits and vegetables and other plant foods that are minimally processed, many of which I grow myself, especially this time of year as well as all year. And I want you guys to, especially watch my channel. I have a more science-backed, evidence-based channel where I will share with you guys, like, if things start happening, like, things are not going right for you, does that mean I'm just gonna throw in the towel and bail? Like, if one thing with your partner is off, like, oh, I don't like how he brushed his hair today, you're gonna break up with them, divorce them because of that? No, you're gonna talk to them about it and you're gonna work through it and get it worked out, right? And likewise, if one aspect of your raw vegan diet is not working, you just throw in the towel and now you go keto because now you're looking for the next quick fix. No, guys, the answer is there are plenty of things that are excellent about the raw vegan diet, which are basically eating copious amounts of fruits and vegetables and other minimally processed plant foods. And is 100% raw vegan diet going to work for 100% everybody out there? Absolutely not. Will it work for many people? Absolutely, if you dial it in properly and you eat the right diet and the right foods for you, and get testing and get regular testing so that if you see you're out of bounds on vitamin D, vitamin B12, maybe you're osteopenic or osteoporosis coming on, you could take action instead of just all of a sudden you wait all these years thinking you're perfect because I'm raw vegan, everything's fine, and then you get a test and then all of a sudden it shows like, oh my gosh, you got a cancer growth, right? I actively encourage, I got a DEXA bone scan and mineral density scan a couple years ago to see where I'm at, right? So I could monitor these things and make adjustments as needed. I've got a whole body MRI scan to make sure there's nothing going to be crazy going on with me, right? I actively encourage you guys to get regular blood testing and microbiome testing because if there's something off, you want to catch it early. You don't want to like put your hands over your ears. I'm eating a raw vegan diet. Everything's perfect. I'm fine when there are some situations going on with you, right? And especially as you get more mature on this planet, things change in our bodies and we can't keep the same exact diet we had 20 years ago. Now it has to adjust and evolve. And that's what I strive to share with you guys on my channel. I've been evolving and adjusting my diet, making small tweaks, nothing super crazy, because still the foundation of eating more fruits and vegetables is proven by science that it's healthy. So if you're like going raw vegan to keto, right? I personally think you're crazy. If you're going like raw vegan in terms of diet or raw plant-based diet to including a little bit of, heat processed foods and even animal foods in some small percentage, 5 to 10% of your diet, that could be totally perfectly healthy as well. You're not gonna hear there's many other raw vegan channels. I'm gonna tell you guys that because I look at the science. And while I do feel compassion for the animals, and if you do want to eat animals or animal products, I encourage you guys to go hunt, fish, have your own chickens, get your own eggs, and not leave it to somebody else so that they could profit from your dietary changes. I mean, I grow my own food. I know what it takes to grow food. You guys want to have eggs or eat chicken, you should raise chickens as your pets and slit their throats. Yes, it sounds horrible, sounds mean. So you could eat them if you guys want to do that, right? There are ways to tweak a plant-based diet if it's appropriately planned to get your nutrient needs met from plant foods. But if you're eating a deficient raw vegan diet, as I said so many times on my channel, then when you eat animal foods, you're going to feel better because your diet is not properly designed to give you the best health. Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much my rant for today, guys. I really don't want you guys to be oversold and be mindful of people trying to oversell the diet, setting you up literally for failure in years to come because their statements are not going to be met because they're unachievable because they're simply not accurate and not true. Instead, I want you guys to check out some of my other videos where I share more of an evidence-based raw vegan diet with eating some small amounts of heat processed foods, processed in the best ways possible to minimize the nutrient loss and minimize carcinogen production on my channel. This is something that I don't think any other raw vegan channel does. So like so many whys that I learned from before, Dr. Jameis Sheridan, I don't want you guys to throw out the baby with the bathwater when the raw vegan diet doesn't work for you. Modify, change your approach, and tweak it a little bit. And tweak it a little bit over time to get to where you need to be so that you guys can be successful. Because it makes me really sad when I see people go from like raw vegan to just basically keto or carnivore, which, you know, can work for a short time for some people, but basically blue zones around the world eat a plant-predominant diet, and that's what I want you guys to do also. If you guys enjoyed this rant style video, hey, give this video a big thumbs up. Also, more importantly, share this with other people that may succumb to people in the raw vegan movement making exaggerated claims and saying that basically the raw vegan diet is a panacea and could heal all your ails. I would encourage you guys to unfollow them immediately. Also, be sure to click that subscribe button right down below so you miss my new and upcoming episodes. I've committed 5 to 7 days. You know what new knowledge I'll be sharing with you guys, and wisdom that I've learned over my 30 years raw vegan, or some of the new studies that I look up literally every single day. Make sure you click the little bell so you're notified as my videos come out. And finally, be sure to subscribe to past episodes. Past episodes are a wealth of knowledge. Over 800 episodes at this time on this channel dedicated to teaching you guys an evidence-based raw vegan diet, the best that I know how. So with that, my name is John Kohler with OKRaw.com. We'll see you next time. Until then, remember, keep eating your fresh fruits and vegetables. They're always the best.